All right, hello everybody. This is the Rookie Corner Podcast, episode 24. This one's going to be a pretty chill one, kind of like the last few ones I've been doing. I haven't been in full broadcaster mode in quite a little while, so this will just be nice and chill. We got MegaJetty1 here with us, and Jay from Those2BaldGuys. We're waiting on the other half of the bald guys, the Angus of color, if you would, for the bald guys, Des. And MegaJetty, why don't you introduce yourself real quick? Tell us a little bit about your channel.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jeffrey Turner, aka MegaJetty1, and you can bet on that. And I like to discuss a variety of different things. You know, sometimes I like to talk about underrated movies that most people don't think to talk about nowadays, or at least ones that don't have reviews on YouTube, like Double Impact with Jean-Claude Van Damme and Jean-Claude Van Damme, and also movies like Speed with Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock. That to me is a classic. I saw that before I saw Die Hard, and so I will personally always favor Speed over Die Hard. So, you know, there are certain things that I will like that most others don't, or at least not as much as they like something else. So, yeah, I just try to cover the underrated stuff as much as possible.
Well, that's good. People are doing all what's popular these days, so doing a old-fashioned one is pretty awesome, man. And Jay, why don't you introduce the bald guys?
All right, I'm Jay of Those2BaldGuys. Hopefully Des will be joining us soon here. But we do a bi-weekly show called On the Couch where we just have fun talking about movies, no political spin, and we post every other Thursday. Our last episode was just this last Thursday where we went very mainstream and covered Infinity War. And then we're working on a live show as well right now. And you can find us on YouTube, Twitter, and at Those2BaldGuys.com.
Hells yeah. I love your guys' style of reviewing, honestly. You guys should definitely be blowing up soon with the way you do it, honestly.
I appreciate that enthusiasm. I hope you're right.
Yeah, hopefully. All right, we got Mary in the chat. She says, all right, I'm going to get some chips and settle in to watch ya. And Inty Bird is in here, and the Ancient One. Open-minded movie man, what's up? He says Stallone Specialist is underrated as well. Yeah, I haven't seen that either.
Yeah, that's actually a good movie. I saw that. I haven't seen it as much as usual, but I do like that movie.
Yeah, I still have a lot to catch up on. Pulp Fiction is next on the list, as well as John Wick. I've had John Wick up, but I haven't sat down to fully watch it yet. I don't know why.
It's just good stuff. You'll get into it, I think.
I'm going to hold it hostage. I'm going to be like, I still haven't seen John Wick or something.
I saw John Wick with my dad. I didn't know what to think of it at first. I thought it was just a generic action movie starring Keanu Reeves. But sitting down and watching it, I was like, oh my gosh, this actually is more interesting than I thought it would be. And so when talks of John Wick 2 came about, I knew I had to see it.
Hells yeah, man. Yeah, I'll definitely be checking that out at some point and wait on the hype. But anyway, something good to talk about. I mean, we could just open right up with Captain Marvel stuff, but I'd rather hold that for later because I'm kind of tired of hearing about it, honestly. I mean, I think everybody on the planet has said something about it. So I'm going to wait on that.
And since we did bring up Keanu Reeves, there is another movie he was in that I consider very underrated. Came out a few years ago. You ever heard of 47 Ronin?
Yeah.
Heard of, yeah. I haven't seen it.
Yeah. 47 Ronin is a famous Japanese group. The 47 Ronin, they were actual people back in ancient Japan. But the thing is, the 47 Ronin movie featuring Keanu Reeves was more of a fantasy mythological take on real events.
I'll have to check that one out at some point, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I always have been into the feudal Japan culture with, samurai and ninja and shoguns since I got into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Sailor Moon and then Inuyasha. But, so yeah. And then I also, of course, saw The Last Samurai as opposed to The Last Jedi.
Yeah, it's a much better film indeed.
Oh, yeah.
Drawing for the fun of it in the chat says, hey, I'm putting together a video series for my underrated movies as well. So doing a similar thing. That's pretty cool.
And Open-Minded Movie Man says he saw my Captain Marvel review. So what'd you think of it?
Hey, we'll do that later. That's
yeah.
No Captain Marvel for now.
I know.
We'll we'll start
I
with.
was just asking if if he liked the review or if he disliked it.
Right. We'll start off with some happier, upbeat questions. Like, what are some of your guys' favorite films? Starting with Jay.
Oh, favorite film.
Jay.
You're gonna throw me out there. First one that comes to mind is probably The Virgin Suicides by Sofia Coppola. I adore that movie. I don't know if either one of you have seen that or not.
Virgin Suicides. I've not heard of that one.
It's her directorial debut. It's back. I think it came out in 99, 2000, somewhere around there. Stars Kirsten Dunst kind of when she was on her kind of her heyday right before she did Spider-Man and all that. But it's based off a novel, and it's the story of 5 girls who commit suicide. So it's it's very interesting. You can't just throw it on and get some popcorn out. It's not that kind of movie. But if you're prepared for that kind of story, it's one of the best I think around. Plus, it's also Josh Hartnett's film debut as well. So it's got a little bit of history tied to it from that, and from Sofia Coppola having that be her first directorial film. It's really good, though. Definitely should check it out.
Sounds deep.
Yeah, it's not light. Definitely a heavier film. They just did a Criterion just did a remastered version, and all that came out a couple months ago. It's very, very good, though.
Interesting one. I was not going to expect that one. All
right.
I was assuming a DC one or something for some reason.
Try and throw a wrench in the gears every once in a while. Do something unexpected.
I like that. That's cool. And what about you, Mega?
Starting with the letter J, I don't know too many. So far, the only one that's really springing to my mind is Jurassic Park.
Yeah, Jurassic Park. I liked that one, but I never had a huge attachment to it personally. Like I see why a lot of people like it, and I love the sound effects they use for the dinosaurs. But I can never. I don't know where I'd put that on my list. It would be pretty low.
My favorite character will always be Alan Grant, because not only did he have that Indiana Jones look to him, but I liked his arc of he had a hard time with dealing with kids, but the movie kind of, helped him mellow out and, be more father figure to them. As opposed to the original novel where he already was good with kids right from the beginning.
Yeah, I heard that the novel versions are quite different from the movies, but I watch a YouTuber that covers that stuff sometimes. Sounds pretty badass, but they did what they could with the films for what they do.
Oh, Indy Bird also is asking about Jaws. Sadly, I have not seen that one all the way through yet.
I think he's referring to me because I recently watched that with Proper Jeremy and stuff. Yeah, Jaws is pretty good, but I don't know where I'd put it on my list. That again, just to me, it's a good film, but as far as like top good films, in my opinion, that'd be lower on those good film list. Kill Bill, I watched that recently too. That I don't know where I'd put it right now or what I'd rate it, but it was really good. Both
Kill Bill doesn't start with a J though.
True, but regardless.
Hey, Rook,
okay,
I'm going to drop out just for a minute to see if I can get Des on, if that's cool.
All right, yeah, that's cool. You should be able to come back whenever you can.
Okay, I'll be back.
We'll try and keep this going.
All right. Thanks.
Yep. Indy Bird says that's a good movie with a J.
Oh, yeah.
when I said start with J, I was referring to Jay. That was here in the chat, in our panel. That was Jay. His name is Jay.
Oh, okay. My mistake.
Not favorite one starting with AJ.
Oh, that's what I thought what you meant. Well, yeah, because I mean, I got a variety of movies, but I think I should start where, the very first ones I got into. As much as I would love to say Star Wars is my number one favorite, sadly, I was introduced to something else before I ever saw Star Wars.
What's
Terminator.
that?
Terminator? Yeah. I saw Terminator 2 first, and then I went back and saw the first Terminator. Because I saw T2 first, that one is technically my number one favorite. But I do prefer Sarah Connor from Terminator 1 over Terminator 2 Sarah.
I haven't seen either ones in a long time to be able to judge currently. Yeah, I remember T2 was on TV all the time. T3, I kind of like that one, but not entirely.
T3 wasn't all bad, but it just was not the same as the first two.
I feel like I hated the actor that plays John. I think was
my stepdad had the same issue.
He just doesn't seem like he fits that type of person.
Yeah.
I guess I'm like, this guy is just a schmo.
What did you think of Christian Bale's John Connor?
Christian Bale's John Connor.
Yeah, from Terminator Salvation.
I don't really remember. I don't really remember that film that much. I remember there was a half Terminator that fights a dude after a helicopter crash or something.
Kind of like that, yeah.
I don't really remember the film, to be honest.
That's okay. That's okay.
I think that one went in.
I'm the Terminator nerd. I'm a Terminator nerd because like I said, I got into Terminator before I got into Star Wars, and so that's why even when the Terminator movies started going downhill, I'm still a diehard fan for Terminator, and that's why even with Genesis, with all its issues, I still find some good in that, despite how badly written the story became after dealing with the 1984 events.
Okay, well, I get that makes sense. I don't know. For me, I just can never get into it as much, I guess. But in the chat, drawing for the fun of it, or Indie Bird says Ace Ventura.
Oh, Ace Ventura. Oh, hey, excuse me. Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
Yeah, I liked those ones. I feel like when I was younger, I really liked Ace Ventura, but now I don't think I could watch it. But I'll still say that I like it, even though I don't think I could watch it now and keep it straight. I don't know. I don't find it as funny currently. Right now, when I was younger, I loved it.
I still love it because not only is Ace funny, but he's going after a dolphin, and I love dolphins.
No, in the first one?
Yeah. To me, the first Ace Ventura is the best, in my opinion.
Yeah, it could be. I think I saw Ace Ventura When Nature Calls a lot more, and when it starts with the raccoon getting killed,
yeah, kind of like
this is a comedy. What the hell?
It was a parody of Cliffhanger with Stallone.
Oh, I didn't get that because I never saw Cliffhanger.
Yeah, I only saw the beginning of Cliffhanger. That's how I got the reference.
No, I gotcha. That's how it starts, I assume.
Yeah, and also Mary says she saw Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, but yeah, I need to watch that too, so we can do another.
I have the Pulp Fiction.
Another watch party. Yeah, she and I are catching up on some of these other cool movies like
Open-Minded Movement says Predator and Predator 2 very underrated sequel. I agree with that.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people like Predator 2, but it's just not brought up in the favorite category because the first one was very action-packed with all their stuff they were doing.
Yeah.
Hey Jay, welcome back.
Hey, he's having trouble. I don't know
what's
going on.
Yo. What's up, Des?
What's up?
Hey.
The Milk Duds in the house.
All right.
I'm all happy because I figured this out.
Heck yeah, you got it working on your phone now?
Your cam's on,
yeah.
guys. I don't know if you want it on or not, but just heads up, your camera's on.
Yeah, if you tap your screen,
see your bright shining face. But...
If you tap the screen, the left side should turn your camera off, I think. Or yeah, you got it. Okay. Boom. Perfect. So how's it going, Des?
Good, man. Good. Now everything's great. How about yourself?
Doing good. Since Jay has come on quite a few times with other people and streaming and whatnot, I want to give you some spotlight. So why don't you tell us what your channel is about?
Well, our channel is about having a good time, just trying to enjoy the things that we love doing, mainly just TV shows and the movies that we like to view, and just getting back to just the enjoyment of film and the storytelling and the art of it all.
Hell yeah, I love your guys' setup. I said that to Jay a few times. Like you guys look like the style should have. You guys should have like at least a few hundred followers by now. Like
I appreciate that, man. We're trying, man. We're working hard trying to get it to where we want it to be. I mean, we're still working in the kinks and bumps in the road and everything. It's a process, like everything else, which is to me is part of the fun. But yeah, we're trying to get it there.
I feel like I feel like you two are like the first like collaborating from the start YouTube channel, because everyone else kind of we all kind of meet up, like we start our own and then sort of do collaborations together sometimes, but it's usually taking turns on a channel or something. But just from what I could tell as far as in the Fandom Menace community, it seems like you two are the first ones that have started together, and that's that must be pretty tough to be in the same place to film and do the thing, because you said it's like once a week or a few times a week.
Yeah,
it seems pretty tough.
Yeah,
well, you know,
go
ahead.
Oh.
Yeah, I know how tough it is because my Alita video a few days ago was my 5th most viewed video, but now it's my #1, and I've gotten to like 212 subs, and in the last few days I lost 2 of them, gained 1, and then lost that 1 again.
Oh no.
Yeah, feel your pain, brother. I feel your pain.
Yeah, it's like 1 minute it looks like I'm going up, but then I go down and then back up again. I'm like a yo-yo.
Yeah, of course. That whole
That's what
yo-yo
happens.
seesaw action going on.
Yeah, that's what happens all the time. You'll gain 5 subs, lose 3 subs, gain a sub, lose 2 subs. That's how it all works.
I know.
I just look at it like we're just paying our dues. I guess it's part of the process, you know.
Yeah, well, it's like as long as you're having fun or you feel like you put out something good, that's what counts. That's what I say. Like if you look at my first 40 videos, my God, they're atrocious. But I tried, and that was me learning. And the whole point was like, yeah, I know I'm a novice, but I'm trying anyway.
Yeah, my first few videos were supposed to be the start of like a series. Still haven't gotten to most of the next installments on them yet, but that's because I'm trying to keep up to date with certain things.
Yeah,
Well, we started out doing those DC movies, but the funny thing is we haven't actually reviewed what we actually started our show doing. So we started out kind of trying out podcasts and testing that out and seeing if our dynamic worked together and that kind of thing. And we reviewed Sons of Anarchy, which we're both really big fans of the show. Des got me into that last year. And so we keep wanting to get to Sons of Anarchy because it's kind of like the roots of our show, not DC, but with the DC movies, it looks like that's kind of how we started our channel. So we really want to get to doing a series of things as well. And we're just trying to figure out how to do that. So we're not doing every episode of Sons of Anarchy, because what if someone doesn't care about that show? And that's all we're doing. So we're trying to figure that out. But like you said, the timing, when there's 2 of us, and obviously we have real lives and schedules and things, it is pretty tough to get together.
Yeah, it's all about trying to find our rhythm, you know.
Yeah,
And I think that's pretty common with all new channels, I would assume. You know, you got to find your rhythm, your, ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
Well, true. And you guys aren't starting by doing 5-minute or 10-minute videos. You guys do the 20-minute or longer ones, which I personally love those types of videos. I hate, I don't prefer ones where it's like, okay, it's going to play for 5 minutes and then I got to pick another video or something. I like to just kind of have something on for a little bit, hear them talk and, get more in depth the longer you talk and, find out more things. So I like that type of style personally, but with a smaller channel, it will take a little bit before you guys get a good flow, I think, or as far as a good subtraction, like a sub count going, because they're long videos, people will look and go, oh my gosh, 30-minute video, a 20-minute video and all this. And then, but I feel like the more people that see your guys' channel, the more you guys will catch up big time.
Well, I appreciate that. That's what we're hoping, because we've definitely been trying to find the balance, because, we are a couple of nobodies. And so who cares about our show? And so do we do longer videos? Do we do shorter videos? Usually, the advice we hear is don't do longer videos because no one cares who you are. And I agree that that's true. So we're trying to find a balance between something we enjoy doing that we want to watch and, not making it too short, because I enjoy the longer form videos as well. And so, but I think right now we're trying to stay at 25 minutes or so is our goal. If we need to shorten that in the future because we find that helps, then we will. But for now, that's what we're doing. And hopefully we find our audience. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say if anything, if you split it in half, toward the end of the first, 12 minutes or so, make it oh no, we'll be right back after this commercial break next week. It's and then, then you'll have the second half of the video start where you left off and we're back or something.
That's an idea to consider, honestly, because we are definitely, we want to hear feedback from people, and if we need to adjust to make the show more enjoyable, that's great, as long as we're still having fun doing it and we're not changing completely just to appease other people. We want to obviously have fun doing this too. So yeah, it'll be a balancing act, but yeah, I'll definitely jot that down because we're looking for any ideas that are going to improve things for sure.
Hell yeah.
If I can tease a little something, to help with my channel growth a little bit.
Sure.
Given that Cobra Kai season 2 is about to come about, I got an idea of what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a review of each of the Karate Kid movies, and then I'm going to do a review of the entire first season of Cobra Kai as a setup to when I see and review all of season 2.
Oh, that's good, man.
Nice. Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, it does.
And I'm in fact, to make it even better, I'm gonna do it in my karate outfit.
You got a gi ready to go?
Yeah. Do you want to see it real quick?
No, we're good. Yeah, save it for your series.
Okay.
Yeah, let it be a surprise then.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just excited that you got one.
Yeah,
that's good.
No, it's not a color that you would think it would be.
Okay, interesting. Brown? No. But I'm going to address the chat real quick. We got the Ancient One joined us in the chat here. What's up? And Exaggeration Nation, Jesse, a.k.a. Mary, of course. We got.
I joined the chat.
It's always cool. We got John for the fun of it. He's got a cool channel going up, too. He's a really good artist, and he talks about film and cartoons and stuff, so check him out. We got the Lone Wolf Cub. Again, his videos, man, the Lone Wolf Cub is very undersubbed for what he does too. He goes there's normal movie reviews where you talk about the movie, but he goes into the depth where he'll talk about the exact origin that it spawned from way back, with the Mummy. He does the review on the Mummy, and he goes back to the origins of the Mummy. All these other films, there's so many 17 other films before the Mummy. Before the Brendan Fraser one, anyway.
Oh, okay.
My God.
I was wondering what kind of what Mummy movie he was referring to. The first Mummy movie I ever saw was the Brendan Fraser ones, and I enjoyed both of them and the Scorpion King. Not really a fan of the third one as much as I would like to be, the third Mummy movie, but I recently found in my Big Lots store that I work at one of the old Mummy movies, the black and white ones.
He said there's 28. My bad, 28 other films. Oh, geez. And then we got Open Minded Movie Man in here as well. Scotty boy. Yeah. So we got a nice little chat going on, and I asked the other guys this a bit ago, but Des, what some of your, or at least one of your favorite films? Not the favorite because that's hard to pick. What's one of your favorites?
One of my favorites. Let me see off the top of my head. You know what? This is gonna be crazy, but I'm gonna go with the first Godfather, even though it's one of the ones I just seen within the last. I saw it for the first time within the last 3 months, and I just fell in love with it. I think it's awesome.
Oh wow, I still have yet to see that.
Oh really? Okay, so now I don't feel that bad.
Yeah, he had no idea you hadn't seen it yet, Rookie. That was just a coincidence. He had no idea.
Yeah, Des, you have no idea. I have so many films I need to catch up on. I just saw Jaws and Jaws 2 recently, Kill Bill and Kill Bill 2, and I'm going to see Pulp Fiction next. I'm trying to knock off the list.
Hey, don't feel bad, man. I'm right there with you. There's a ton of stuff that I haven't seen. I haven't seen stuff like Braveheart. Never seen that before. I think I've only gotten past I've actually only seen the first Godfather. I haven't seen any of the sequels beyond that. There's a ton of stuff, man. So yeah, you're not alone.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And there's so much new content now that it's and also watch Game of Thrones and watch Stranger Things and watch it. I'm like, no. I'm still trying to get some of the older ones from the 70s. What are you talking about?
These are good problems to have, though.
True. I feel like when I turn 60, I'll have a great life because I'll just I can watch all the 80,000 movies from 70 years ago, and okay, just be able to sit back and I'll start Game of Thrones when I'm 62 or something.
It'll still be awesome.
Exactly.
It'll probably still be on.
The kids will be like, "Oh, this is so old. This is an old show. It's bad."
They'll be on their 8th or 9th spinoff by that point.
Sure. Oh God, true.
Will. Yeah.
Remember that dire wolf? Well, he had puppies, and
Exactly.
That's funny. And Darth Tico joined us in the chat as well. All right, so like I said, this one's a kind of shorter episode, a little bit, just trying to figure out some topics. So I was going to ask you guys, what do you guys think is going to happen to DVDs going forward? Do you think that streaming will totally take over? DVDs will go to the wayside, starting with Jay.
I think DVDs will probably drop off for that reason. I don't know if disc media in general will. So I still think we'll have HD around, maybe even 4K discs, because there's always going to be a market for it, in my opinion. I still prefer to have the disc, even though a lot of my movies are digital now. I still, if I had my choice, would get every single one of them on disc as well. But I don't think it's going to go away completely, at least not for the next decade or so. Then maybe in 10 years, we could talk about maybe, media in general will go away and just go straight to digital and downloading and whatnot. But yeah, DVD, I think I'm surprised it's not gone already. As a digital media for data and stuff, I don't see it going anywhere still for a while. But for film, I'm actually surprised with how inexpensive Blu-ray is now that it's still around for that reason. But I don't see it going away completely as far as a disc format. But I could be wrong. You never know.
Yeah, that's a good point. Mega.
I really hope they don't do away with DVDs because first off, there was a time where there was no way you could, watch movies at home unless it was on live television. That's when they eventually they of course introduced the VHS but the only drawback to that was after you watch the movie, you got to rewind it back to the beginning in order to watch it again. But when DVDs were introduced, they did it where you didn't necessarily have to rewind it back to the beginning because you can just, scene skip all the way back to the beginning and save time. And then they started introducing Blu-rays, and now DVDs are slowly becoming a relic while Blu-rays and ultraviolets are taking over. So if the streaming service, here's the thing. I favor having a hard copy of a movie or whatever in my hands, in my own home. I do not want to have it all be digital on a system that could easily get broken. Because if my DVD player gets broken, I still have the movie. I just got to go get a new player. But if all of the movies I want to own are on a digital device and something happens to that, they're all gone.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm actually doing a series soon covering this type of topics. That's why I want some feedback from some different people. Des, what do you think?
Yeah, I completely agree with both of them. I mean, I don't want for DVDs to go away at all, but I do think they're going to probably go the way of the record player and records in general. I mean, they're still out there. They still exist, but you're going to catch hell trying to find one. I think we're going to get to a place.
I know that, forgive me.
It's okay.
Yeah, basically, that's the same problem I had because I had a lot of VHSs growing up, but then when DVDs became the new thing, I had to practically replace all of them with DVD versions.
Yes,
and not all the movies that I like are on DVD. I don't know if you've ever heard of a movie called Ski Patrol.
Sounds familiar.
It basically was made by the people who made the Police Academy movies.
Yeah,
basically, this heartless land developer and ski school lackeys are trying to get the mountain shut down so they can take it over. So
classic 90s.
Yeah, and the Ski Patrol are basically trying to stop them. But yeah, it's a personal favorite of mine, but it has never been put on DVD, even to this day.
Well, see, that's exactly why I feel like there should be both should kind of be around. I feel like having the physical copies and the digital is a perfect balance because you can get a lot of stuff that you couldn't get on DVD. Like even there's a bunch of Disney movies that were never made on DVD, but those, if they have a streaming thing, then they could be on that service, available that way. And same with TV shows. Like, God, I don't want to think about trying to watch a series all the time and having to get up and put in each episode. I kind of like being able to binge it on streaming, to be honest. But like with films, I like to put them in. I like to kind of have them, I like to see the collection, I like to browse, and see, read the cover, there's a whole thing to it. The whole thing to the thing rather than browsing on a screen, then it's just kind of different. And if more streaming stuff offered behind the scenes stuff and deleted scenes and just the in Lord of the Rings, if you guys watch the extra discs, those go so much into how they made it, and when you don't get to see that, or you don't have the option to see it, it's kind of a downer. It's like, oh man, you get to miss this. Like, really?
Yeah, because
the filming process.
Yeah, because in Return of the King, the extra discs show what they originally intended for the final battle at the Black Gate. They were going to have Aragorn in a sword fight with Sauron himself. But obviously they felt that would take too much away from Frodo and Sam, and so they digitally put a troll in for the shots that had Sauron. If they go this way of the streaming service, we'll never get to see those behind-the-scenes stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think they'll probably put them on YouTube at some point or something, but it's not the same as having it tied with it.
Yeah, and even in the Iron Man movie from 2008, originally they were going to have both Ironmonger and Mandarin be the main villains for Iron Man to fight at the end. But since they didn't know how to do the Mandarin in a believable way, they scrapped the Mandarin in favor of, Ironmonger.
Well, plus, if you look at these digital licenses, I think the fine print basically tells you you don't own this movie and we could take it from you anytime you want. So I don't trust having all my stuff up on digital. I want to know I have it in case someday a service goes out or whatever.
Well, exactly. It's like if you bought it on Amazon, then your subscription is over. Do you keep any of those ones you purchased through Amazon, or if your power goes out or something and then it goes back on later? I mean, there's just all these scenarios I look at where I'm like, even the signals, like, you get crappy internet signal. I'm like, you just put it in a DVD and you're fine. Like,
right. Yeah, exactly. Your disc isn't going anywhere.
Not to mention if it's all on digital, like you said, with the fine print, private companies can like hold these movies we want to watch hostage, and even worse than that, they could digitally alter them to fit whatever narrative they want to push.
Well, yeah, they can do that with DVDs too. Like the last Star Wars DVD set I bought, because I only had the golden special edition VHS, and then I bought Star Wars a few years ago on DVD. They have the part where Darth Vader at the end of Return of the Jedi goes, "No."
Yeah, I don't have.
I'm like, oh god, no.
I was fortunate not to get that one, but I didn't mind the special editions. The one thing I really complained about was the whole Empire Strikes Back scene where Luke is trying to say, help R2 up. He initially said, "You're lucky you don't taste very good," which is funny, or at least accidentally funny.
Yeah, the line they changed is dumb.
You were lucky to get out of there. That is dumb.
It's not funny at all. I didn't understand that change.
I'll tell you this. Have you guys ever heard of ADY1? ADY1?
No.
Oh, he does these re-edits of the original Star Wars movies, re-edits that Lucasfilm should have known to do.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah. Like, for example, he does a faster-paced version of Obi-Wan and Vader on the Death Star with the Duel of the Fates music in the background.
No, I feel like they sit around and go, what could we add to this? And it's like, yeah, but you don't need to add anything. Yeah, but what could we? It's
like, that's what it feels like.
Yeah,
he actually edited the space battle over the Death Star in A New Hope in an interesting way. When they say here the TIE fighters come, there's a shot of like tons of TIE fighters flying down, and it looks more like a dogfight.
Yeah. Well, so not that's kind of going that way. We're going more into Star Wars now than the DVDs. But so I have a similar question. Movie theaters. Do you guys think that movie theaters will end up, not existing or going downward? Being a old commodity. Oh, look at that ancient place. Oh, there's like 3 left. What do you know? What do you guys think going down the line? Since Mega's got a lot to say on this stuff, we'll start with you, man.
Oh, okay. I was going to try and keep quiet on this one, but okay. The thing is, I liked the privilege of going into a theater and watching it for the first time on the big screen. But yeah, obviously, there are some advances in technology and in our culture that make it almost difficult because, first off, these parents are basically bringing their kids to the movie. These loudmouth whiners who don't know how to be quiet in a movie theater. And obviously
I have a solution for that. Honestly, one of my things I would do is have like a room or a time where like part of the theater is like whatever show times those movies are for families. So you don't have to worry about bringing your kid if you're going to go to see a movie in that area or whatever, because the other people going would also bring their kid in that one theater or that part of the theater or something. So, if you want to go to a movie theater and like the normal rooms, they can't have kids under a certain age or something. And, if they want to bring their 6-year-old, 7-year-old, they got to go to the family theater or the family room or something. So you can have that option.
Yeah.
Do you think that helps?
There are, of course, these people who, still ignore the rule of turning off your cell phones in the theater. They just don't get it. They don't get the message. You need this. People don't want to see your small screen. They want to see the big screen. And yet, people are and not to mention, of course, like in Deadpool, basically people like to leave their popcorn laying all over the floor. Total D move.
What do you think, Des?
Well, I just wanted to get back to your DVD question real quick, if I could.
Yeah, sure.
I'm saying I'm in the same camp as far as I prefer to have a hard copy, and you guys perfectly illustrated all the benefits to having the hard copy DVD. But I do think that the convenience of streaming is gonna eventually not necessarily render it obsolete, but it's gonna go down significantly because most people choose the path of least resistance. So.
See, I would agree with that, except for the number of streaming services that they're coming out with now. It's kind of turning a lot of people off a little bit to the amount.
Yeah, like an entire streaming service dedicated to Star Wars, an entire Disney streaming service dedicated to Disney animated movies. Yeah, it's like they want a streaming service for every single thing.
Oh, well, their greed might play into our favor then.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
might work out for us.
Who knows? Who knows? But what do you think about the theaters, though? Do you think that theaters will end up, going the wayside, or do you think they'll be able to adapt at some point, or how do you think they could adapt to, make it better?
I don't think I liked a lot of your ideas, but I think that movie theaters ultimately probably aren't going to go anywhere because there's too much money to be made. I mean, you got video games to be played, there's popcorn and candy and all that kind of crap. Now they're serving like full-fledged dinners in some particular movie theaters. I don't think for that. I think there's just too much money on the table for a movie theater to completely go away.
Yeah,
but as far as improvements go, I liked your idea as far as having the separate rooms thing. That was pretty cool. Let me see what else could we do to help improve that kind of thing. I don't know. I guess you can pass out muzzles for the children. All right, you know what?
I wouldn't mind that.
I'm gonna say a taser button would be nice. Somebody tapping,
shock on their seat.
The best solution for annoying children is just to bring Jay with you to a theater. This guy almost body slammed a little kid when we went to go watch Infinity War.
Actually,
never seen him that upset.
Here's a better suggestion. My stepdad once said, "If I don't be quiet, he'll get the duct tape." So yeah, put duct tape on the kids' mouths, and that'll shut them up.
Yeah.
For a minute.
Jay,
for a minute is right.
I think if the business model stays the same, then they're obsolete and they're going to die. But as Des was saying, the model isn't staying the same. We've got some chains that are starting to serve food and things. So they're going to need to have more gimmicks, or the financial model is going to have to change because the theaters, the tickets, of course, as we probably all know, keep going up because the theaters aren't really making that much money off of these movies. Really, it's going to the studios, etc. So if that doesn't change at all, I see they're gone probably in a few more years. But that's not what we are seeing. Some bubbling, some ideas bubbling up that are a little different, and maybe the industry will kind of change to meet that, and then they'll stick around. But yeah, definitely bottom line for me is it can't stay the same, or they're not going to be around. That's what I think.
Yeah, definitely.
And bring the dollar movie theater back. Bring that back, please.
Oh yeah,
dollar movie theater.
Yeah, I miss those.
Those are awesome.
Is it like some guy's shack with a broken TV? It's screen, but it still plays like.
I don't know if either of you are familiar with the movie theater brand called the Cinemark.
Yes,
Cinemark. Yeah,
that's the movie theater. That's where I go to whenever we go there. They actually installed this new ability of reclining seats. You just press the button and you can recline and just lay back and watch the movie. And I like that. That's a good improvement.
That's pretty good.
It's part of that model that Jay was talking about. Yeah, more stuff like that. We need more of that.
Well, yeah, it's like Cinetopia has like a full restaurant in their place. I assume that all goes to the theater. I would assume.
Never heard of that one.
You guys never been to Cinetopia?
Not me.
I don't think I've ever heard of that.
Oh wow! Oh my gosh! No,
sounds like I need to figure this out.
Next time I go to one, I'll take some video. I could pull up pictures, of course, but yeah, I'll give you guys the authentic experience a little bit. Yeah, they have pretty decent seats. They're much more comfortable than your average Regal Cinema anyway. There's a whole restaurant area where you can just chill and eat some food, get some. There's a bar and whatever you can go and drink, and it's all fancy looking, kind of. Tickets are usually, $11 to $14 or something. That's
so
fine.
It's kind of like, it's kind of like Amsterdam. Basically, you can go to a movie theater and get yourself a beer, and I ain't talking no plastic cup. I mean an actual glass of beer.
Nice. you have to eat the stuff in the area, but if you wanted to be served, you have to, there's stuff you do for that too. But it's I think that helps the theater out if they don't make as much on the movies. But I had another idea. Like if I don't know if theaters close at some point in the night, right? They're not open like all day, 24 hours. They have like a few hours.
They have to. I'm pretty sure by around midnight-ish they close.
Probably. See, this would be an interesting idea if after midnight they switch it up to where they can like have video game nights or something, where like if somebody wants to pay a few $100 to have a theater screen, and if people want to come and watch or play on the huge screen too, they fork over some money, $15 to play if somebody does the thing. And I don't know, it's something like that, so you can play like a Halo match,
screen arcade, right?
Yes, you can play like a Halo match on the big screen in the middle of the night. So it's like between midnight and 7 a.m. or however early the things, maybe you have a few hours where there's no employees, so they're closed, but have a little game night area. That would be some good. That'd be some good stuff.
Ever hear of the Star Wars trilogy arcade?
No.
Oh, before arcades started going downhill, there was this great arcade made around the time the prequels started. Basically, there's this like pilot seat you sit in. There's like the trigger, and there are these two buttons on the side. First level, of course, is the Battle of Yavin. Second level is the Battle of Hoth. Third one's the race to the shield bunker. And then there are these mini levels where you have to deflect blaster bolts from Boba Fett, and then, of course, duel Darth Vader. And then the final level is destroying the second Death Star. But yeah, I've had to spend lots of quarters on that game. But the one thing I have a good record on, I have never missed the exhaust port shot.
Wow.
That's because you're using the Force.
Yeah. So basically, if I could play that arcade game on the big screen, that would be epic as hell.
Yeah. See, you'd fork over like $100 or something to be able to play for a little bit.
I would risk $100 for that.
Like my thing is, I figure it'd be hard. It would probably to rent to use a whole theater thing. You'd have to pay a little bit, but I assume if you have 4 friends. Like let's say it's $400 or $500 to use a movie theater room at the end of the night, after they close or something. So you get 4 friends, pay $100 each or something, or 5 friends, and y'all can play for a couple hours or something. And maybe then they charge you. Okay, so it's initial $100 per person or something, and then they charge by the hour like an extra 15 or 20, or if they have another 100 to cover whatever food they want to get or something, something like that. I'm just thinking off the top of my head with this one. I feel like that would be a good way to revenue, and not based off the movies. You can just bring a game. It's like we'll hook it up.
Funny comment by the Lone Wolf Cub. He says, "You need much beer if you want to make it through Captain SJW."
Ugh. I'm actually glad we didn't talk about that much this stream. I'm so tired of hearing about Captain Marvel.
But we have 15 minutes left if this is going to be a 1-hour stream.
Yeah, just about. Hey, Demogenize joined us as well down here. Riot Kitty, the Ancient One, Proper Jeremy, Inty Bird still sticking around. How's it going, guys?
I think you need to say it like this. Proper Jeremy.
I make fun of him all the time.
I was actually doing it the Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers way.
Oh, right. I mean,
Proper Jeremy.
Yeah, I mock him all the time. But all right, so this was just a shorter stream. We'll definitely do some more ones pretty soon. I think after March I'll start doing my 2-hour ones again. I've just been doing watch parties for the most part for streaming.
I actually enjoyed being part of the Kill Bill watch party.
Yeah, that was fun. I'll have a lot of people rotate on for certain films for sure.
Yeah.
But so we'll be closing out in a little bit. So let's start with Jay. I'm going to ask, what's a good final question for you?
Okay.
I was thinking about, so I did the movies, did the streaming. What's a good final topic? It's a good one.
What are you doing to me here?
I'm trying to think of a good question to get us thinking a little bit, because I like these types of topics with the streaming the discs. What do you guys think about resurrections in film? because let's say Loki, for example, he gets killed or he seems to be killed and then comes back, or in actual ones where like in Pirates of the Caribbean where Jack gets killed, but then he gets brought back through the whole, thing they went through with the locker and whatnot and came back out. Like, what do you guys feel about resurrections in film?
Yeah, it depends on how it's done, honestly. I don't have a problem with it at all as long as it's done well. And usually what that'll mean, this is just generally speaking, obviously, but for me, that would mean if it's planned ahead of time, usually it's going to be done pretty okay because it's not going to feel, shoved in at the last second. And I think that I have not seen the Pirates. You mentioned Pirates of the Caribbean. I have not seen those in a long time, but my recollection is that the first movie was its own thing, and then everything else kind of was written at the same time, but it was after. So 2 and 3 were written at the same time, but it wasn't the initial idea from the beginning. And so I hate it. I remember Jack being in the desert or whatever for like what seemed like a half hour. It just went on for way too long. And it just didn't make any sense. And so I guess just the answer for me would be, it just depends on how it's done. I don't have a problem with the idea in and of itself. It's just going to come down to, is it good storytelling or not for me?
Real quick, I did find the whole Jack in the desert thing entertaining, at least the first half where he had multiple versions of himself, but when he like jumped off the ship, that's where it did get a little draggy.
Yeah, I can't remember it well enough. I just remember it didn't feel organic or natural at all to the story.
Right. I guess what I'm saying is, like let's just say in Pirates of the Caribbean, also they bring back Barbossa. Like after in the first one, he had a kind of sad death. He's like finally able to. He never got to eat his apple, and he's like, I feel cold, and dies. Then he just comes back in the next one. He eats his apple. And he's like, and then he's
that actually was good. I was shocked by that.
See, so that's the kind of thing I'm kind of getting at, and like how in Dragon Ball Z, the show, the anime, of course. I mean, that whole show is based on characters getting killed and brought back to life all the time. Yeah. But it usually does good for their character. I mean, like you wouldn't be able to like them as much if they didn't come back after being dead. But their death. And
it's also a matter of how they're brought back from the dead, because in Dragon Ball, basically when someone like what's his name, Krillin, dies, and personally I do like Krillin. Even though I have yet to get too much into Dragon Ball to know his character, he just looks like a good character. He seems to get the short end mostly and dies, but when all they do is just gather up all the Dragon Balls so they can make a wish, they wish everyone who had died was brought back, or like it never happened. So yeah, they basically use the wish to undo the death.
Right. Well, yeah, that's not as satisfying sometimes. But what do you think, Des, about resurrections in film? You can pick whatever type of ones you want to use as an example. But do you think it, kind of harpens the meaning, or does it enhance the story? Is it a huge issue? Like, what do you think?
Do we lose him?
Sounds like it. And we're not hearing you, Des. Oh yeah, there you are.
Oh, sorry, I was cutting it out a little bit. I only heard the tail.
Picking your nose. No. Yeah, I was saying. So yeah, what do you feel about resurrections in film?
Yeah, I still couldn't make out what you said. I got a bad connection, I guess. I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we
hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, you guys hear me?
He was asking.
Yeah, you just kind of choppy there for a little bit.
Okay, he was asking what your take is on resurrection in film, what your opinion is on that, whether you think it's a good storytelling or whatever, etc.
Oh no, it's great as long as it's done correctly. I mean, I don't want it to be done to where you're correcting a mistake in, say, a film previous. I don't want to be able to detect it either. I want it to be seamless. Like of itself is fine. I like the idea. The execution is more important than the idea itself, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, I'm going to try to do a video on this at some point, because there's so many different stories where there's resurrections in them, and some are really bad and some are really good. Like some make the characters really worth sticking around for, and others is like, why the hell did you do this? Stop. I feel like the MCU, I really wish there was more death in it in a way. I mean, only because I want to care about them having died. Like, if they keep on sticking around, you can't miss them. And it's like, I want to miss a character. at least for a little bit? Can I at least miss one for most of the movies? At least have that illusion of, oh, are they gonna, they're gone, right? And then, like Tony Stark, I'm hoping that he kind of gets killed in Endgame so that I can go, man, I miss him. Instead of, he's still around. Who knows what he's going to do next? Like, I don't want to think about that.
Yeah, understandable. I wouldn't count on that with Iron Man, though. I really don't think he's going to die. I really don't. Not after the fake out in Infinity War. I think that was their nod to, they realize people think he's going to die. But we'll see. It's fun to speculate.
Yeah, drawing for the fun of it says, I hate resurrections in film. They all seem show horned in. Yeah, I mean, sometimes.
I would like to counter that with my answer to the question, if I may.
Sure.
I think it's okay to do death and resurrection, but here's the thing: you need to have even the resurrection have consequences, because, like I said before with the Dragon Ball thing, they just wish the whole death undone thing, and everyone goes about almost as if like their death never happened. They remember it happened, but the experience didn't change them in any significant way. But here's the thing: Spock died, but then he came back.
Spoilers.
But he was not the same as he once was. He lost most of his memories, and even as he slowly got them back, he had to relearn his feelings, his emotions, because he couldn't understand sarcasm or exaggeration like he used to. Because in Wrath of Khan, he did exaggerate the whole 6 days thing or whatever, or 2 days of repairing the ship. But then in Star Trek 4, Kirk's like, exaggerate. You've done it before. Can't you remember? The hell I can't. So, yeah, I think resurrection is okay if there's a consequence to it. And minor spoiler, I am writing my own story and hoping that it'll become a series. And there will be, grittiness and death involved. But not like, so depressing. It's more like, character growth and whatnot. And I do, minor spoiler alert, plan to kill off one major character down the road if, my series is good enough to get that far.
Well, yeah, you got to get the first one out first.
Exactly.
Don't think too far ahead, because...
And if that happens, the character will die, but I plan to bring them back because I deliberately intend to, because the experience changes them.
Okay. I like that point of view there.
A resurrection is okay if it changes the person who has been afflicted with death.
Yeah, right, Kitty in the chat. I was gonna say right, Kitty in the cat. Right, Kitty in the chat says, as long as the resurrection makes sense in the property of the universe. Yeah, that makes sense. You don't want to have being Star Wars and they go, let me flick my magic wand, and now they come back to life. Boom.
Yeah, like with Superman. If he were to die, he could come back, but he's not the same Superman he used to be.
The Lone Wolf Cub says the resurrection is always a sign of lazy writing. Besides, it's Jesus.
Yeah, but like I said, it may not be so lazy if it's deliberately intended, because that's the problem with Marvel or DC. If one writer chooses to kill off a big character, then a new writer can come along and have them resurrected, but because it wasn't the intention of the previous writer, it creates a conflict. But if the same writer kills off a character with the intention of bringing them back as part of a plan, then that's okay, I think.
Yeah, and Inty Bird in the chat says, RoboCop. He said that's a good example.
Exactly. He was changed by his death.
I never saw RoboCop.
Oh man. Where have you been living? Under a rock?
I've seen some of it on TV, and I was like, I'm gonna change the channel.
Well, that's probably you were probably watching the TV series.
No, the movie. It was on
newer
movie
one
a long time ago. This is a long time ago. I'm like, this guy looks weird. I'm gonna change the channel.
Well, we got 4 minutes left.
Yeah, I think the Peter Weller version is worth a watch, but the newer one with Joel Kinnaman, I like Joel Kinnaman, but it's just not.
I actually I feel that the RoboCop reboot is underrated.
It's passable.
It's different, but it's still, you know, got that same touch as the original, in my opinion, even if it is PG-13.
Yep. Before we head out of here, though, in a little bit.
Really?
Go ahead.
The one thing that the reboot did that the original didn't, we saw him interact more with his family.
Yeah, that's good. Were you guys going to say something, too?
No, I'm good.
No.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll be closing out here in just a minute. I'm just saying hi to the chat real quick again. Sergeant Bats has joined us. Yo. Yeah, I think he does a comic show with Ashon Comics, and they do a cool little show on. It was on Wednesdays, but I think they changed it to Mondays, but I'm not sure exactly. I need to check up with them on that. And Mary earlier was like, she's like, how do I keep my feet warm or my feet are cold? I was like, put some socks on, or I could rub them. She's like, nobody wants to rub my feet. I don't even want to rub my own feet. Yeah, I'd be too lazy to rub somebody's feet, Mary. I'm sorry. And yeah, Open-Minded Movie Man says I need to watch it. And the Lone Wolf Cub says Rookie Cop. Yeah, definitely. And yeah, the Machin Eye is here. They're all talking about rubbing her feet now. Sorry, Mary.
So since we have we're a little short on time, are we gonna cover Captain Marvel at all or not?
No, I don't think so. That's good. There's plenty of that. We'll see your video for it if we want to see some more coverage on it. So yeah, as we close out,
if that was all right.
Yep. As we close out, Jay and Des, you can plug a video you guys are working on if you want, or give them a little, ask for some subs or something. Say why should they check out your channel?
Because we're just here to have fun. That's why we want the escapism back. And if you just want to hang out on the red couch with us and have a good time and be lazy and talk movies, and hopefully there's some humor in there, something to laugh at too, then yeah, everybody's welcome. So hopefully, that'll do it.
Hell yeah, we need more of that these days.
Party on our couch.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and we'll bring the popcorn.
That's right. There we go.
That's good. Hell yeah, those two bald guys, the black and white, the Oreos of the YouTube. No, just kidding. I don't know. They are awesome. MegaJetty.
Well, yeah. I am going to, as I said earlier in the stream, I will be doing a review of all the Karate Kid movies from the first movie even up until the Kung Fu Kid movie. But because the thing is, that kind of ties into how I got into the franchise. I saw the remake fully before I saw all the previous ones before that. But I will say this, despite the flaws of that movie, it's still a decent flick, even though it is mostly a retread of what came before it. And but all these reviews are our preparation to Cobra Kai Season 2. I will, after I do all the Karate Kid movies reviewed, I will do a review of all Season 1 of Cobra Kai, hopefully before Cobra Kai Season 2 has come out. So, please check out my channel, MegaJetty1, if you're interested in wanting to see my review of the Karate Kid franchise and the Cobra Kai series.
Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about, buddy. Hell yeah. And just so you guys know, too, I wasn't going to tell anybody, but yeah, I already made one Rotten Tomato skit where I slaughter the tomatoes on behalf of the Fandom Menace, but I'm going to also make another one. Now I bought like 20 tomatoes today, and I do the skits with real tomatoes and make them stop motion. And oh my God, I had so much funny ideas with it. And I'm like, this is going to be too much. Yeah, you guys, I'll be hopefully posting that by Thursday. Oh my God.
Yeah, the first one was great, so I can't wait to see more.
Thanks, man. Did you see it, Des?
And if I may say so real quick.
I didn't get a chance to check it out.
All right, what was that, Mega?
If I may say so real quick, Mary, if you'd be so kind as to link all our channels into the chat there, that would be much appreciated.
I didn't make her a mod. Not yet. Lone Wolf Cub is, but he's lazy to do that. And Riot Kitty's here, but she's on her phone. But you guys' links are in the description, so anybody who wants to check you guys out, they can go to the description and they shall find it. Thanks for stopping by, guys. The Ancient One, Mary Vidalis, Riot Kitty, trying for the fun of it, the Lone Wolf Cub, everybody. See you later.